Hello, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm in Bursa, spending a quiet day revisiting some places and discovering a few new ones along the way. Bursa sits at the base of Uludağ, or Great Mountain, in northwestern Turkey. And it's a place I've visited many times, but there's always something new to learn and see. I hope you enjoy. Bursa has long been known for its silk production, especially during the Ottoman period, when the city was a hub along the Silk Road. So when I came across this small workshop and museum set inside an old factory, I was curious to learn a bit more about that tradition. When I arrived, it was quiet and I was actually the only visitor, but a really nice woman working there gave me a personal tour. First, she showed me around the workshop area, where some women were actually there winding silk onto spools. Silk comes from the cocoons of silkworms, which feed on the leaves of mulberry trees. The cocoons are boiled, and then the fine silk threads are carefully unwound and eventually spun onto spools. The process of getting silk is extremely labor-intensive, working with such a delicate material, and is time-consuming, which is why silk items are so pricey. The woman giving me a tour even let me help her weaving a rug on display. It was a fascinating process, but no doubt a tedious one. It made me really appreciate the craftsmanship that went into all of the works on display here. Just a short drive away, I made my way up to the edge of the city, to a small pavilion tucked into the hillside. Originally built in the 1800s as a hunting lodge, the Hünkar Mansion Museum later hosted Ataturk, the founder of the Turkish Republic, during his visits to Bursa, and was even where he met his adopted daughter. When I arrived, it was completely quiet. In fact, the pavilion itself was actually closed. But I spoke to someone working there, and they opened it up and gave me a tour. Photos and videos aren't allowed inside the pavilion, but I included some from their website here just to give you an idea. The rooms are furnished as they once were and gave you a glimpse into the past. Outside, the gardens open up to a wide view over Bursa, and even though it was a hazy day, the area felt peaceful above the city. After that, I headed back down into Bursa's popular market district. It's a part of the city I visited many times before, but somehow it always feels different each time. There's constantly something happening, even on a weekday it seems to be busy. This time, I came looking for something specific though. Tahini li pide is one of Bursa's well-known local pastries, made with tahini spread over a soft dough and then baked until warm and golden. It's especially popular at breakfast or alongside tea. And I had read about a bakery known for it online, and judging by the line outside, plenty of other people had too. But the line was worth it, and I was able to grab one fresh from the oven. The tahini was warm and soft, slightly sweet, rich with sesame flavor, and apparently one of the traditional ways to eat it is with pieces of simit dipped straight into the tahini. Even Figs seemed interested in trying some for herself. And of course, no stop like this in Turkey really feels complete without a glass of tea. From there, I continued wandering through Bursa's historic market district. The market here dates back centuries, growing along this former Ottoman capital and its trade routes. Even now, different sections of the market still seem to organize themselves by craft. One area might be filled with textiles, and another lined with jewelry shops and gold merchants. Some areas feel chaotic, while other corners are quiet. But regardless, there's always something interesting to see. Eventually I made my way into the Koza Han, which is one of the most well-known areas of the market. Traditionally, a han is a building that served as a sort of inn and a warehouse and just a general hub for merchants along the trading route. Koza Han was built in the late 1400s during the early Ottoman period, and it became an important center for the city's silk trade. And even today, that connection to silk still remains. Upstairs, shops continue to sell various silk textiles. After spending the morning learning about Bursa's silk traditions, it was nice to end up here. Below, visitors enjoy tea and Turkish coffee at the abundance of tables covered by maroon umbrellas. And I'm not normally a tea person, but in Turkey, it's hard not to be. Just by the market sits Ulu Cami, Bursa's Grand Mosque. Built at the end of the 1300s during the early Ottoman period, it's one of the city's most important historic landmarks. I've visited a few times before, but it's a popular stop for visitors to Bursa. Inside, light filters down from above the fountain at the center, making this massive space feel light. The mosque is especially known for its calligraphy, which seems to cover almost every surface. Even with visitors constantly coming and going, there's still a feeling of calm here. Since it was getting later in the afternoon, I was starting to get hungry. One of my favorite meals from Bursa is Iskender kebab, a dish of thinly sliced lamb served over pieces of pita bread with a tomato sauce and yogurt. The ingredients themselves are fairly simple, but together they're incredibly flavorful. There are many well-known places to try Iskender in Bursa, but I'd often pass this small restaurant with its blue and white facade, and just always thought it looked really inviting. Iskender kebab isn't considered especially inexpensive in Turkey these days, so it was a real treat for me, but one I found absolutely worth it. Not long after the plate arrived, one of the waiters came around carrying a large pot of sizzling butter, pouring it generously over the top. It's definitely a rich meal, but one I think tastes best when in Bursa. After such a filling meal, a walk was needed and I made my way uphill toward nearby Tophane Park. This area holds an important place in Bursa's history. It's home to the tombs of Orhan and Osman Gazi, the founders of the Ottoman state, and it's long been one of the city's most visited historic viewpoints. By the time I arrived, the tombs had already been closed for the day, but the grounds were still quiet and beautiful to walk through. Spring flowers lined the paths, and people lingered along the edges of the park, looking out over the city below. Even with the haze on this day, the view from here still gave a sense of just how far Bursa stretches outward. From the older, historic center at its heart, to the neighborhoods climbing toward the mountains in the distance. To end the day, we made one last stop to pick up something sweet to bring with us. And then, as evening settled in over the city, we headed to a friend's house for tea. I think moments like these are one of the reasons I enjoy coming back to Bursa so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this little video. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more from my perspective as an American living in Turkey, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Until next time, thanks!